Okay, we're looking at practicing combining like terms again today. So when we're looking at our information here, remember that we have to do distribution, and when there's no number in front of our parentheses, we put in the number 1. So 1 gets multiplied by each term on the inside. So 1 times 3x is 3x, 1 times 2 is 2. And same thing here, 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times x would be 1x. And now we're going to combine our like terms. So 3x plus 1x would equal 4x. And then I have plus 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is going to be 3. So this would be my simplified version. Looking at the next one here. We got to put a 1 in front of this parentheses. 1 times 2x is going to be 2x. 1 times 3 is going to be 3. Here we don't have a number in front of here, but we're going to put negative 1x, and then we can put a 1 here and multiply by 4x, and 1 times 1 would be 1. So now in this case I've got 2x minus 1x plus 4x. So 2 minus 1 would be 1, plus 4 is going to be 5. So 5x's. And then we have plus 3 plus 1, plus 3 plus 1, that's going to be plus 4. Okay. So our simplified version, 5x plus 4. Over here, we've got subtraction signs here, so we've got to be careful because this is where our negatives are going to get to us. So we've got 1 times 3x would be 3x, and 1 times the whole thing, negative 2, would be negative 2. And we put a 1 in here in front of the parentheses, so now we have negative 1 times 1 would be negative 1. And negative 1 times x is going to be negative 1x. So I have 3x minus 1x. Remember that I have to circle that sign in front. So 3x minus 1x would be 2x. And now I have minus 2 minus 1, so that would be negative 3. That would be my simplified version. Here we go. 1 times 2x would be 2x. 1 times 3 is going to be 3. This is going to be minus 1x. And here we'd have to put in a 1 again in front of our parentheses. Negative 1 times 4x is going to be negative 4x. And negative 1 times 1 is going to be negative 1. 2x minus 1x minus 4x. 2x minus 1x would be 1x. 1 minus 4x is going to be negative 3x. And I have plus 3 minus 1. So 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. And that would be our simplified version when we combine our like terms. All right, put the 1 in front of my parentheses. 1 times 2x would be 2x. And 1 times 3 would be 3. This is going to be plus 1x. And then I have this minus 1 or negative 1 times 4x. That would be negative 4x. And negative 1 times 1 is going to be negative 1. 2x plus 1x would be 3x. Minus 4x is going to be negative 1x. And we have plus 3 minus 1, so we'll be left with plus 2. All right, this last one here is kind of crazy. We've got 1, 2, 3 sets of parentheses here. So starting with the first one, put a 1 in front. 1 times 4x is going to be 4x. 1 times 1 would be 1. And then here we've got a negative 1 times 5 would be negative 5. And a negative 1 times negative 2x, a negative times a negative is going to be a positive. And then for the third set, we've got plus 1 or positive 1 times 2 and positive 1 times x. So we've got 4x plus 2x plus 1x. 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7x. And then I've got positive 1 minus 5 would get me to negative 4. Plus 2 would bring me back to negative 2. So that would be my simplified version. Okay, make sure you've gone through the guided practice here. And then when you get your quick check B, do all the problems in quick check B, put your name on it, and turn it into the basket.